a galaxy far, far away and yet so close. My designation is Xyla. My species has watched your world since the shadow of nuclear war first darkened your skies. We were drawn by the Cold War, a conflict that threatened to engulf your planet in fire. From our hidden vantage point, we observed, we listened, we learned. What we discovered was more complex than a simple ideological struggle. Yes, two superpowers locked horns, but beneath the surface, something else stirred. Something manipulative, a symphony of power, greed, and control, orchestrated by forces unseen by the average human. The Cold War, your history books tell you, was about ideology, freedom versus tyranny, capitalism versus communism. We saw a different narrative. The United States, proclaiming itself a beacon of liberty, sought to expand its influence across the globe. Containment, they called it, containing the spread of communism. But containment often meant interference. Coups in Latin America, wars in Southeast Asia. Every intervention, justified as a defense of freedom, served to advance the interests of a select few. Corporations, banks, the military-industrial complex whispered in the ears of presidents, and the world danced to their tune. With the fall of the Soviet Union, a new era dawned. The unipolar moment, they called it. Yet the whispers never ceased. They simply adapted. No longer confined to radio waves and Cold War propaganda, manipulation seeped into the very fabric of your information networks. Control the flow of information, control the narrative, control the narrative, control the people. This became the new mantra. Wars were justified on fabricated pretenses. Dissent was silenced with accusations of fake news. And all the while, the gears of the global financial system churned, reaping profits from the chaos and uncertainty they helped create. For decades, we have watched the global banking system evolve. The International Monetary Fund, the World Bank, these institutions, ostensibly created to foster stability and development, often became instruments of control. Loans laden with crushing conditions, economic policies dictated from afar, developing nations shackled by debt, forced to bend to the will of the lenders. This is the invisible hand, not of the free market, but of a system rigged to benefit the few at the expense of the many. A system where wealth is siphoned upwards, concentrating power in the hands of a global elite. And the United States, with its dominant currency and its outsized influence, sits at the heart of this web. The patterns repeat. A country rich in resources but resistant to foreign exploitation, whispers of instability, a manufactured crisis. Suddenly intervention becomes necessary. Perhaps a coup d'etat propping up a puppet leader, perhaps a proxy war, fueling both sides of a conflict. The methods may change, but the goal remains the same: control. The cost, measured in human lives, in shattered societies, in the erosion of trust in institutions meant to serve the people. And the beneficiaries? The same shadowy cabal of corporations, banks, and government officials, their pockets lined with the spoils of war and exploitation. The entire edifice rests upon a foundation of debt. The United States, once a creditor to the world, is now the world's largest debtor. Its economy, addicted to consumption and fueled by endless money printing, teeters on the brink, and yet the illusion persists. The dollar remains the world's reserve currency, propping up a system built on unsustainable foundations. This is the legacy of decades of manipulation and short-sighted greed. A world on the edge where economic instability fuels political unrest, and where the very fabric of global order threatens to unravel. From our distant corner of the cosmos, we watch with a mixture of fascination and trepidation. The choices you make today will determine the fate of your world. Will you continue down the path of manipulation and exploitation? Or will you break free from the shackles of this system and forge a new path based on cooperation, sustainability, and genuine human progress? The future remains unwritten, but one thing is certain. The truth, once revealed, has a power all its own. And the time for revelation, it seems, is fast approaching.